Welcome to this module. In this module, we'll talk about IT asset management challenges. So the typical enterprise has hundreds or thousands of IT assets. With a fast-paced business environment, lots of users who are moving around, different departments, different floors, different buildings, different cities, different countries. So it's a tough challenge to keep all the IT assets tracked and updated with all the right software patches and updates. The challenges are asset discovery and tracking. Whenever a new asset comes, or when an asset is retired from the network, or if a moving user moves into your network into a location, antivirus status, Windows and OS updates, patch management, and the change management. Let's take a look at each one of these. So asset discovery and tracking. New assets are added and old assets are removed all the times, and when there are thousands of assets, then we need an automated mechanism to do this. So there's temporary or replacement machines. A user has a machine, and then it becomes faulty and goes for repair, and for 30 days, the user is issued a new device, and that has to be entered. And it also requires the security patches, the antivirus updates. It has to be tracked. It has to be entered into the asset lifecycle. And then there's traveling staff. There are test beds, for example, and those also are assets, but they have to be categorized differently because they're also a part of the network. And then there are vendor environments. And vendor environments also have to be tracked in terms of assets, and you have to categorize them as well. The antivirus status is very important and critical. A working and updated antivirus on a system is critical to a properly security managed network. And because these are geographically dispersed networks, and even if it's one city, but the network or the organization may be spread, or the users may be spread over the entire city. So to do a truck rollout, to send a technician to go and fix something is very challenging. And some stations or computers may not be responding or updating, and to fix that, because in the main dashboard of the antivirus, there's 5,000 workstation status showing, but there may be a certain percentage, like 2% of the workstations are not updating and are not connecting to the main antivirus server, and it's not able to push out the updates. So you have to troubleshoot with the help of your technicians and your help desk support staff to understand why those systems on that 2% of workstations are not updating the antivirus, are not connecting to the server. It could be a network issue, it could be a system issue, it could be a malware issue, or it could be any other issue as well. So Windows and OS updates. Windows, Linux, Unix, AIX, and database systems, there's a wide variety of systems. There are vendor patches from multiple sources, and you have to understand those patches. You have to get information about those patches. You have to test the patches. And then there's acquiring downtime for Windows and monitoring the performance. So Windows and OS updates, this is a whole life cycle. And because there are lots of systems and lots of different types of OSs, and there may be different locations where these are placed, so this is also a challenging exercise. This also has to be managed. So WSUS, which is the Windows service which pushes out updates, that's only for Windows, and you have to do this for each particular vendor. You have to do it separately for Oracle. Sometimes you have to do them manually. Sometimes you can do them the updates through Active Directory for Windows. And depending on the type of environment, you have to come up with a strategy to push out the updates. So for patch management, you have to scan for vulnerabilities. You have to pass on reports to the IT teams. You have to track the remediation and make sure it's being done on time. You have to rescan for verification and report to management. And this entire patch management exercise, the information security team has to make sure that this is all being properly done on time and there are no gaps. So that also becomes a challenge. And then there's change management. Because patching, vulnerabilities, keeping track of the updates, of the patches, of the antivirus, all of this is an activity which requires changes in the network. So change management is inherent to all the processes. And change management requires reviews and approvals. And configuration management database or repository should also be managed, because many times we are going to go and change the configuration of devices because there was a patch required which required a change in the configuration, or there was some other control which we applied which changed the configuration. So change management and configuration management are also very important. So these are all the related IT asset management challenges. And for this, we have to come up with a strategy, because managing thousands or hundreds of systems and devices and managing all these IT asset management challenges is very difficult to do it manually. It has to be automated to a great extent. And for that, the good news is that there are very good asset management tools available, and we'll talk about those in another module. Thank you very much.